Deputies had been to Ahmaud Boja's home behind me a lot over the years. I'm News 6's Mike Valenti, and by now that name, Ahmaud Boja, might sound familiar to you because he's the defendant charged with 3 counts of murder in the fatal shooting of 3 out-of-state tourists who were staying at this rental home. And deputies say Boja lives right next door. Now, according to the sheriff's office, we're learning that deputies dating back to 2006 had responded to dozens of calls for service at Boja's address.
I can tell you he was a threat to that neighborhood all the time. We had a lot of calls for service on this person in that area, so he was a known person, a frequent flyer to the sheriff's office.
That was Osceola County Sheriff Christopher Blackman over the weekend, following the shooting deaths of 3 out-of-state tourists who were staying in this rental home on Indian Point Circle. Wednesday afternoon, one set of flowers and balloons sat in the driveway, serving as a reminder of what happened here. The house next door belongs to the Boja family, who, according to property records, bought it in June 2004. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office tells us that between September 2006 and April 2022, there were 41 calls for service at this address. Of the 41 calls, the Sheriff's Office says 16 involved Ahmaud Boja, the majority of when he was a minor. 2022 was also the same year Boja stood trial for attempted murder, accused of shooting at a person and random vehicles in a Kissimmee gas station parking lot. In a bench trial, Judge Keith Karsten ruled that Boja was acquitted by reason of insanity, but the judge issued an order of conditional release. One of those conditions, that Boja not own or possess firearms. Another condition the judge outlined here says, quote, the defendant shall continue with all mental health intervention provided by Park Place Behavioral Mental Health Facility. So what I'm going to try to do now is call the mental health specialist to see if they could give us any insight. Hi there, this is Mike Valenti with News 6. Park Place later sent us an email saying the facility could not discuss specific cases, but assured it would cooperate with law enforcement as the investigation continues. In a status update from Park Place dated August 8, 2023, a mental health specialist wrote that Boja was compliant with taking his medication as prescribed and did not miss appointments. She added that he got a job at McDonald's and was happy with it. So as part of that order of conditional release in 2022, Boja still had competency hearings he was supposed to attend. In fact, he had a competency hearing scheduled for this coming April. We're also getting our first look at his arrest warrant from over the weekend. In it, deputies describe recovering 2 pistols under his bed, but it's not clear how he was able to obtain those weapons because, again, he was not legally permitted to have them. I'm Mike Valenti, News 6.